Peace, peace, peace. What it do? Yeah, it's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY back with another one of that Repent and Die podcast. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Jones, the original for the bond tools by blood, not by converge. You know I'm out here to splurge with the well, with the word. Want to give all praise and glory to our heavenly parents, for they are worthy to be praised. Last but not least, want to give a shout out to all those that's been tuning in, supporting, subscribing, sharing this, doing the whole shebang, doing the works with your brother, man. All of this will not be done for you. And now I know it's late night, 12 something in the morning, but it was on my spirit to really talk about this. And the conversation is quite simple, right? The biblical way is the only way the children of Noah can be saved. And why I say the children of Noah, because Japheth has an opportunity to receive the promise. He won't have the promise of being in control and power and rulership, but he's gonna have the opportunity to dwell into the kingdom amongst his fellow brothers and sisters, cousins, should I say, right? And the reason why I came out with this live, right? Because there's a big discrepancy going on right now with how T.I. handled his son, and I guess he yoked him up, and then people is in a frenzy and all of this nonsense. And I just wanted you to see the reason why I'm coming on. I just wanted you to see and know that the reason why people are in this space right now is because we have turned away from the biblical aspect, right? The biblical way was the only way for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about black and brown people, right? We didn't operate our lives following the ways of the heathens, right? But now you fast forward to today, how these heathens have gotten black and brown people so brainwashed and sidetracked and fiending to have money. When you fiending to have the things that they have, you then have to comply to the way that they live and move. And that's the problem that we have right now. Us as black people, we have been very compliant and submissive to the ways and the lifestyle of the same exact people who put shackles around your neck. I mean, I can't stress that even more. You understand? Where we as colored people, we are still following the ways of the enemy, right? We must cleave on to our heritage. The heritage has always been in front of our faces. They just rewrote it, interjected themselves to be the overseers. But what they was unable to do was change the locations. They try to change the locations. They try to sell it to you within the New Testament, but it's not working. It's ineffective. That's why a lot of people is disregarding the New Testament. Am I saying to disregard it? No. There's very important information left behind, particularly the Apostle John, and not only in Revelations, but also John that walked with our big brother, who you guys may call your savior, right? Because in that precept in John chapter 8, verse 44, he said that you should know the truth and the no, excuse me, he said you of your father and the lust of your father, excuse me, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do, right? That's what he said. John chapter 8, that same chapter, 8, verse 32, said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free, right? So salvation is only going to come for us when we go back into the biblical ways. You can't believe in a biblical person, but yet not follow the biblical ways that this person that you believe in was following. It doesn't make no sense. And because it's not making sense, you see that we drifting all over the place. Brothers is left, brothers is right. Brothers don't know what's up. Brothers don't know what's down. Nobody know what's going on. Everybody's very opinionated. Everybody's emotional. Nobody, especially the men, nobody's standing on warrior time. Nobody is standing on righteousness. You can't be righteous and be feminine in the same process. It doesn't make sense. That's an abomination. So when you know that you can't afford to be like that because it's unaccepted by those that created us from the heavens, then you know that certain attributes and characteristics you're not allowed to have. You're not supposed to have as a man, bro. And we having that. And because we're seeing the attributes of men, because men is the leaders, right? Women are only gonna follow what men dish out, right? So because men is dishing out nothing but suckers and foolery and for his mentality and characteristics, women then now don't want to partake in that. Okay? We have to hold ourselves accountable. This is a man's world. Okay? A man built this right here. Okay? A man built this right here. A man came up with the idea. You understand? And I'm not here to be on no sexist type of time, but we just gonna call a spade a spade. All right? Okay? The basketball is when you get a bit, you get a different feel when you watch the NBA from the WNBA. It's a different aspect. Not saying women can't do what, not saying women can't play, not saying women can't contribute, not saying women did not invent things, but the aspect of it all stems down from a brother man. And because brother man's is drifting off, following the ways of the heathens and not the ways of the creator, is the reason why we are in the circumstances that we are in. So we have to go back into the biblical ways. It's necessary, it's mandatory. For the sake of a nation, we have to go back. I say this all the time in every single broadcast, live, you name it. I say this all the time. We have to disconnect ourselves from the foolishness. We have to reteach ourselves. We have to govern ourselves. We have to feed ourselves. We have to farm for ourselves. We have to clothe ourselves. We have to keep everything for ourselves. Because ever since these people has infiltrated our community, our households, our schools, our churches, our everything you could imagine. Ever since we have allowed these people to infiltrate, which infiltration came through integration. Yes, I'm saying it. And ever since we've done that, you've seen the demise and the debacle and the destruction of a nation. And I know people is not gonna like it because a lot of individuals that look like me has been compromised. A lot of individuals like me has given themselves up to the opposite, to the enemy, has given themselves up to procreate with the same exact people that took full advantage. I mean, listen, I can go on and on. But if we don't get back into the biblical ways, we're going to be destroyed. The word said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So we have lost knowledge. We don't know. We don't have recollection of who we are. We don't have no understanding of what we are here to do. We don't even understand why we here in America. Shout out to Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark said the objective is for us to go back home to Africa. Every single freedom fighter in the 70s, public speaker, whatever, from Dr. Ben to Dr. Clark to Francis Quelch Wilson, everybody, even to down to Dr. Umar, everybody said that it's time for us to go back home. We must liberate the black people and allow them to go back home to Africa. But it seems like we don't want that. It seems like there's something about here in America that is so warm and loving that we want to remain here. Meanwhile, I could open up a TV right now and see a black man be tossed in jail, seeing a black man be beaten to death, see a black man be accused of murder, see a black man gets shot by the police, see a black woman be kidnapped. I seen a black woman get lynched on social media. Yeah, I seen all of that, and I told you guys I'm gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I was waiting for the new equipment to come in. The new equipment showed up. I'm still working with the pieces, still working with the camera, trying to get everything right and perfect, especially for the summer conversation. I'm trying to get everything perfect, so everything is not just gonna happen like this. But these are the things that I've been seeing. But yet, brothers and sisters still see this place as is heaven on earth. And in all reality, this is nothing but doomsday destruction upon us, people. And we don't see that. You understand? We don't see that. We're not desiring to look beyond the plantation. We have to go back into the biblical sense, people. The biblical sense made men become men. Men had roles. That role was to lead, protect, provide. Right? The biblical way made women had to adore themselves, not in no sexualization, but adore themselves in complete modesty. Desire to have a king, a husband. It wasn't, oh, I'm gonna talk to that person. If that relationship don't work out, then I'm gonna go to this person. If that don't work out, I'm gonna go to this person and that person. By the time that woman reaches a certain age, chances are, and I'm speaking mainly for the black and brown, chances are that that woman is gonna be washed up goods. She's gonna be that female that never even experienced being proposed to, never experienced being married, never experienced being nothing because you went from Tom, Dick, and Harry. When you should have stayed with Tom, and when Jerry came along, you said no. I'd rather be with Tom. Time is who I choose to give myself to. Time is who I'm going to spend the rest of my time with. You understand me? You understand me? And because we're not doing that is the reason why you seeing the outcome within the black and brown community, where the outcome is single mothers raising these children, especially boys. When statistics show after these boys reach a certain age, they outside because mommy can't control them and they go outside. And because they had not received a proper balance on how to be a man and how to conduct themselves in the streets, they then go outside and do foolery and then get caught up. And then they get caught up and then they end up shot. They end up dead. They end up in jail. And the only person that you're going to be left to blame is not going to be the mother. It's not going to be nobody but ourselves, because we can no longer point fingers at a single person when this is a problem that's affecting an entire nation. Huh? An entire nation of black people is being fully affected behind this madness that we have doing that we are doing. We have fell for the bait. We have eaten the fufu that these people told us it was good to eat. And now look at the outcome. I just seen a video. Shout out to the sister that sent me this. I just seen a video where a sister says, "What am I getting out of me twerking for you? What's the benefit? What benefit is it going to do for my community?" And that's the question that I ask my people. I'm gonna ask the man, what is the benefit of you selling drugs within your community? What is the benefit of saying that you want to be a gangster and terrorize your community? What's the benefit? What is the benefit? What is the benefit, young man, that you see that you need to have knowing that you can't take care of that? What is the benefit, you sweetheart, knowing that you went from this person to that person, that person to that person, and the reason for your departure is for reasonings that don't even make sense. The reason for your departure is for reasonings that don't make sense. I'm trying to figure this out. What is the benefit for us? You know what? There's no benefit because everything that's being done that I just mentioned doesn't align themselves with our creator. Doesn't align ourselves with our heritage. You gotta find it in your heart and understand that once upon a time you was a king and you was a queen. You was created from the dust of the ground of the most prominent, if not the most highest minerals on the face of this earth called Africa. That's where you was from. Nothing else. Don't let none of these religion, these European teachings. This is what it is. European spiritual teachings that comes with religion that's drifting brothers and sisters away from who you are. Yes. And yes, I said biblical because they took our records. They took our records and created their own version. I can show you, I can show you in the book. There's plenty of things in the book. If you see, I got it highlighted. I know you guys can't see it, but if you see, I got things highlighted within this book that these people admitting that everything that when they rewrote this book, The Bible, etc., they rewrote it to fit their narrative and their beliefs. Let me say that again, fit their narrative and their belief. So every time you read this and you see something or interjection like the ISIS Rael, just know that it was interjected so they can uphold what they want you guys to believe. Because like I tell you guys all the time, we are spiritual people. Our strength comes from the spiritual realm. Read the book of Moses. See, the biblical is the only way for salvation. Read the book of Moses. When we was in combat, when Moses put his hands down, when he was not holding the tablets, we was being destroyed. But when he kept his hands up, we was dominating. We couldn't. We was for every one person, we was killing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The point that I want you to understand is, in the metaphor behind that, even though it was a physical thing, but I don't need you to take it from a metaphorical aspect for today's times. When you put the Father's word in his ways and keep his commands and you keep it on high, you will be the most powerfulest being on the face of this earth. And they know that. That's why they put Lord in your word. That's why they put Jesus. That's why they put Yah, Yahawashai, Yahusha. That's why they told you that you spoke Hebrew. And till this day, you can't find a single black person that could speak fluent Hebrew. I'm talking about fluent Hebrew. I'm talking about sit down, have a full conversation in Hebrew. You're not finding that. These teachers that you guys are running to every Saturday, that you sitting there waiting for them to bring forth lessons, can't speak a jot of Hebrew, but yet they telling you that we are the Hebrew Israelites. You can't allow these religions to lead you astray no more. Yeah, you can't. We are biblical. We are very biblical, very spiritual. But you gotta have the spirit of your ancestors. You gotta have Mama Love dwelling in you. Mama Love says she doesn't dwell in a sinful body. So basically, you need to stop sinning. If you don't know what sinning is, let me tell you what sin is. Sin is the transgression of the law. So if you want Mama Love to dwell in you, if you want to receive her so you can have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you gotta stop the sinning. You got to stop selling yourself short and start embracing who you are. Start embracing your royalty. Start putting on your purple. Start putting on your gold. Start putting on your white robe. Start putting on that crown and that armor. Put it on. Like I told brothers the other day, I turned in. I turned over my sword of Lucifer and I took the sword of my creator. I turned down the breastplate. I took off the armory of Lucifer and I put the armory of my creator. If you don't know his name, Sunini Nanini is the name. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'm gonna continue saying that. I know there's plenty of other names, Mawari, Modimo, etc. I'm not calling that. Why? Because that's not the language that I see in the book. Benoni is still in the book. Sunini is still in the book. So I'm not calling on nothing more and nothing less. That's just me. Warrior. Sunini soldier, child, which you are as well, which you can receive if you stop being deceived and led astray by the individuals that told you it was okay to be gay. Hey, stop allowing these people that told you that it was okay to live wrong, eat crab, eat shrimp, eat lobster. It was slavery. It was necessary. You can't even get a sorry. If these people can't see you in a sense of a human being, then you should be discontinuing yourself from these people that refuse to see you as a human being. The biblical is the only way. And I put it down for you guys to read. You can read the book of Proverbs. You can read the book of the Apocrypha. You can read the book of Jasher. Read the first 5 books of Moses. Read them. Read the book of John. If you want to be in the New Testament, read the book of John. The book of John will get you right, will lead you right, because it's time for us to be led right, led on one accord. T.I. didn't do nothing but besides being a father. The word says, spare not the rod. He that spareth the rod trouble his child's soul. You should never spare the rod. Let me say that again. You should never spare the rod. He that spareth the rod trouble his child's soul. And guess what? All our children's soul. All our children's soul is in trouble. All our children's souls is in trouble because we have fell for the bait of the enemy. They made you believe that a European came and died for a whole bunch of niggas. And now the niggas must sit back and wait for the same European to receive him, to come down again, to receive you into the rapture, and then he gonna come down again and rain judgment on the earth. I mean, come on, people, make it make sense. You get on your knees. The Bible tells you, thou shalt not bow down yourself to no God. I had somebody tell me that Jesus is the God now. So Jesus has override the Father that he kept speaking about all through the New Testament. But because they gave you Paul told you to follow Jesus and not follow your creator. Paul even told you that we will be worshiping the creature than the creator. But hey, who am I, right? Huh? It's time for brothers and sisters to get their mind right. Time for you to get your mind right. If you don't get your mind right, it's gonna be good night. And a lot of us is knocking on that good night time stamp. And I'm just gonna leave it as that. It was nothing more, nothing less. Excuse me. Nothing more, nothing less. I had to get that off my chest, for real. I will be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow. It's a lot of things. I might do a part 2 to this. But I just wanted to let brothers and sisters know that the biblical way is the only way for the black people to be saved. It's your brother man from the motherland. I came to you guys live. Continue supporting. For those that don't know who I am him, Mr. Keep My Foot on you heathens, you Hebrews, and the newly installed heathenites next. Are you dumb or are you dumb? Father, say it one time for the one time. And I'ma holler at y'all. One.